Welcome back to Alberton Oval. The margin is 5 goals at half-time, 9-9-63. Port Adelaide leading the Crows 5-3-33. But Ditz, the big news from this game is devastating news for the Adelaide Football Club. Wayne Miller, according to the Crows, in an official update from the club, came off the ground with a serious knee injury. The initial diagnosis, a suspected patella tendon rupture.
Very sad, very sad. Front page of the paper, was it today? I think he was. And high hopes for a big year from Wayne Miller. So, yeah, that's very sad for him and for the club. And the other one is that Todd Marshall won't play for the rest of the game. We saw him go off a collision with Rory Sloane. Now, Chris Davies from the club has told us it's not concussion, but it's more precautionary, and I think he's come away with a fair lump on his cheek, I think. So, yeah, but very, very sad for Wayne Miller. You just don't like to see it, do you? And in a trial game as well.
Such a big part of the Crows' future, Wayne. He was the best user of the footy at the club and was going to be such a big part of what they were hoping to achieve this year, and it's just the worst news you can get out of a trial game like this.
Yep, devastating. So play underway. Second half, Ollie Wines to come away for Port Adelaide. Handballs to Amon, who had a terrific first half. Kicks out towards half forward. Georgiades the target. Might have given away a free kick too. A high tackle. Crows a chance to clear from half back. So very short in the back pocket. Kelly, and he also goes short now to Smith, who can launch from half back.
Yeah, he can. Saw Nick Murray get a touch in there. He's acquitted himself reasonably well. Expectation to be added to the senior list. The brother of Sam Murray. Spent a bit of time at Collingwood. Tex gets the fist away as it comes up towards the wing. Sloane tried to paddle it to the advantage of Laird. It comes instead to Lycett. Amon's got a moment. If it sits for him, it doesn't. So Laird jumps on him. Hately with the gang tackle will get a bounce down. Just 10 metres in from the boundary. Port leading by 5 straight kicks. It was late in the second quarter. They really kicked away if you're just joining us, thanks to Balfours. The Crows acquitted themselves well early. Schomburg had a couple of good moments. Gets the clearance there, but only as far as Byrne-Jones, who chops it off at centre wing.
Byrne-Jones goes to the middle now. Motlop, one of the better players so far today. Alir has been terrific with his intercepts as Schomburg just drops a mark at a halfback. Had time to go back and get it. Crows take it out towards the outer side. Murphy on the end of the pass to Smith, who's been quite active, quite lively in this game, and picks out this man Frampton. What a game he's played, Will. He's been fantastic.
He really has. He's contested. He's got some footy up the ground. Did a lot of his work early as the Crows struggled to move the ball in that second. Supply dried up a little bit for him. Laird's had a number of early touches here in this second half. Fogarty clean at ground level. Just delayed the handball momentarily to Smith. Jones, haven't called his name a lot today. McHenry now over the head handball to Smith on a tight angle. The umpire says out of bounds, I think. No, he says it's a free kick. The free kick will come back. Who are we paying it to here? Brodie Smith? No, Ned McHenry. McHenry will have a shot on goal. Really tight angle. Former first round pick. 25 metres out. 15th pick in 2018. He's played 8 games for the club last year. Looking to really cement himself now, Ned McHenry. Good pressure player. If he can add some finishing to his game, there's a spot for him at AFL level.
Tex Walker tells us very good on the lip too. One of the chirpiest people in the change room.
Yep, loves to talk. He might say a bit if this sails through. It does. The umpire doesn't move, and it's a goal.
Great kick.
Crows on the board early. And if he wants to talk, Ned's got a little bit of ammunition early in the second half. The Crows go to 6-3-39. Port 9-9-63.
Good start for Adelaide because Port Adelaide really dominated in the second part of that second quarter. They really grabbed hold of this game. Probably kicked, 4 in a row, I reckon, to build up that 5-goal lead at half-time. So a very nice one early here for Adelaide in this third term. And if you just joined us again, the sad news is that Wayne Miller, a very serious knee injury. The club has already tweeted that out. So if you want to get any updates, get online. But very, very sad for Wayne Miller and for the club. And Todd Marshall won't play this second half for Port Adelaide after copping a head knock in that second quarter as well. Back in the middle, Riley O'Brien and Lycett having a very good battle so far in this game. Willem Drew and Hately, just a little bit of push and shove off the ball. And neither ruckman got a real decisive tap away. The ball will come to Hately, well tackled. And now Drew can come clearing it out for Port Adelaide. Goes to half forward, and fortunate for Georgiades, his opponent went to ground, and Georgiades takes the mark unopposed at centre half forward for Port Adelaide.
Just slipped at the the crucial moment, did Nick Murray. Allowed Georgiades to take the uncontested mark.
So he's gone back a long, long way here. Very long run up for Georgiades, back inside the centre square. And when he kicks it, he'll be just on the 50, you would reckon. Maybe just inside it. Very slow, deliberate running. On his way now. 49 metres. Georgiades. Nice looking kick, but it drifts to the right. Minor score. Port Adelaide's first score of this third term. 9-10-64. The Crows are 6-3-39.
They've gone along every single time, the Crows, today. They did it all last week in the trial game. Full measure, and then a kick to a really attacking kicks came from the likes of Brodie Smith. It's what he does here. Not so attacking, more out towards the wing. Goes and clears the pack. Burn-Jones first on the football, just shuttles a handball out towards Wines, but Keys was closest. It's won, in fact, by Wines. Now Aaliyah on his left will just kick it inside 50. Shallow entry. Brown and Fantasia compete. Oh, that was clean by Kelly. Got away with it. Now the Crows with an opportunity on the counter. It's O'Brien, just defensive side of centre. If he turns, there's runners ahead. The kick needs to be good, though, because Porter zoning back, including Aaliyah. Up goes Fogarty from the second position, not able to take it. Good tackle by Walker on Bergman, who just was a little slow in deciding what to do there, and Walker from 50 will have a shot on goal.
I reckon Tex Walker has already today cemented his place.
Yep.
I think he probably came in today with both, whether you're a Crows member, a fan, or whether you're part of the hierarchy, thinking he's a 50-50. He's going to have to earn his spot this year. He's been very, very good so far today.
Crows best forward last week too, so I think, yeah, you'd think he's probably done enough to this point in time. Still can't see him playing the full 22 this year, but we will see if he's playing like this. Why not? Does he make good contact there? The distance not an issue, just to the near side, so just the one behind, and Walker moves the Crows to 6-4-40. They are 4 straight kicks behind Port Adelaide, 9-10-64.
Yep, 24 points as the ball comes out to Hartlett at half-back. Can normally kick the ball very, very nicely. This time he picks out Dixon. Dixon a long, long way from goal. He's at centre wing. There are the runners coming for him. Georgiades, he goes that way. Nicely weighted kick. Georgiades can't complete the mark. Good pressure, good tackling, and could have been holding the ball, and he is. Who's wearing 18 for the Crows? Because he's not on our list.
Yeah, I think it's Murray, who's listed as 28.
Okay, it is Murray.
So he's not on the official list, so maybe you can just wear whatever number you like until you've been officially...
All right.
You've been officially added.
I apologise for not knowing who that was, but he's done well. This kick not his best, though. Picks out Dersma, who kicked a couple of goals in the opening term for Port Adelaide. Dersma from centre wing. Spears the pass to Amon. One of the real good players here so far this afternoon. Has had plenty of footy. Chips it over the top. Running for him is Drew. Let's hope he can play a few games this year for Port Adelaide. Drew turns and kicks long, almost a full forward. Wines in the middle of a few Crows there. Couldn't take the mark, and the ball has gone out of play. Right forward pocket for the Power.
Now we might get to see what Charlie Dixon's 1A plan is here if he takes the ruck work from this throw-in. It'll be O'Brien. One of the few blokes I reckon he might have to only break even with in a one-on-one physical contest. Here they go, they wrestle. He taps it to the back, and it's Rosie that picks it up, tries to assess the option, so retreats about 10 metres. Motlops doesn't. Handball doesn't make great contact. Gets to Hartlett in the end, and he gets it back. Burn-Jones and Lysett now. The ruckman will kick it high, about 15 metres out. They fly. Big fist game from McHenry, and it's going to dribble out just in front of Jake Kelly. We're going to throw in 15 metres around from the Port goal.
Well, you asked about Charlie Dixon. That tap he did then, there wasn't much in it, but gee, it was clever. He just pushed it sideways beautifully for Rosie. And whenever he does do some ruck work, Charlie Dixon, I think he's really good. Very clever the way he does it. This time O'Brien beats him. Brings it to ground. There's been a whistle, and it's a Port Adelaide free kick from the umpire that was a long way away. Ollie Wines suggesting he copped a high one there. So Wines to kick for goal, and Riley O'Brien doesn't like it.
The ball just collapsed, and umpire assessed Wines was infringed. O'Brien certainly did not. He was not impressed. He's still remonstrating with the umpire. Opportunity for Ollie Wines to get one back that he gave away at this end in the second quarter.
He did. He handballed straight to Keys in the goal mouth, just about in the goal square. An absolute gimme. Ollie Wines on his way in now. Right foot kick, and he's missed. No, he hasn't. Sorry, he has kicked it. Sorry. The goal umpire made a bit of ground, but it's a goal for Port Adelaide. So they go to 10-10-70, leading Adelaide 6-4-40, and the margin is back to 30 points as it was at half-time. All thanks to Balfour's here from the Alberton Oval.
Just inside 9 minutes gone in this third quarter, playing full 30-minute quarters. There is no time on, so it'll run the duration. Football returning back to its normal length. Normal length at a day, that isn't normal temperature though. It's 28, 29 degrees. Expected top today. There's not much protection out there at Alberton Oval. Surrounds, so it's going to be warm, and we've seen the game change as the quarters have dragged on today. But the full 30 will be played here in this third and fourth quarters, with Port leading by 5 goals at the moment. O'Brien and Lycett set to do battle again. Hasn't been a lot of experimentation in terms of the midfield units today. It looks like they've largely played it like a full and proper, fully fledged fixture. First pick midfielders have gone head to head. O'Brien and Lycett. Keys came. Drew paddled it towards Ollie Wine's advantage, and now Lycett runs out, and he's right here. Really good kick. Rosie spins in one motion after taking the mark. Kicks up to a series of one-on-ones. Dixon juggles the football. Umpire says it's good enough. He held butts with one hand and the ball with the other, and he'll kick from a tight angle. Big Charlie.
Smart kick, Rosie. If you kick to that advantage side with someone like Charlie Dixon, it's just about impossible for the defender, isn't it? As we saw then.
Certainly get caught behind Dixon. I like the way Butts is set up. He's been beaten in one-on-one contests, but a lot of it's just due to physical size and experience. He does get to good positions and doesn't seem to get beaten on the lead or tricked, but that time Dixon was too big and he made no mistake. The big man snapping over his shoulder and kicking a goal and kicking Port away. There are 6 goals clear now, 11-10 to 6-4. 76 plays, 40 here at Alberton Oval.
So with only today and then the game at Noarlunga in 8 days' time, you would think they have to go full pelt, don't they? It's not a trial game where you can start to rest players or relax. I'm just thinking out aloud here,
yep.
Will, because these are the only hit-outs. When you get into round one, you need to be firing, you need to be fit, you need to have had some game time under your belt. So, as I say, I do get the feeling that both sides are going to keep their foot to the pedal here today and have an absolute crack.
And I wondered to what degree the cancellation of the Community Series games where they were going to travel to WA have changed the thought process in terms of what game matters and to what degree over the next 2 weeks. Certainly both sides have put their best foot forward today. Be interesting to see what comes out next week.
So Laddams into the ruck. O'Brien wins the tap. Crows a chance out of the middle. A fumble, though, allowed. Bonner was held. Umpire said play on. O'Brien working hard. The ruckman picked it up, fired it to half forward. McHenry lost the footy for Adelaide and allows Burton to come through for Port Adelaide. Farrell just held up. Wants to get on with it quickly. Does so now. Loose player at centre wing can go out that way. Port Adelaide now through Rosie from centre wing. Looking busy as usual. Dixon tried to get rid of Butts, but Butts was good. Got the fist to it. Port Adelaide, though, win the footy. Bonner will go sideways around the 50-metre arc. Butters takes the mark. Saw Rockcliffe on his own. Rockcliffe sits under it. And a nice kick hits him on the chest. And that was pretty easy. Plenty of space in the Port Adelaide forward line that time.
It's great vision from Butters. Only had a moment to assess his options and he's kicked it across the face to the opposing pocket to Rockcliffe standing all by himself. There was no margin for error with that kick. He's done well.
Doesn't kick a lot of goals, Tommy Rockcliffe. So he'll enjoy this one if he can get it through. On his way in, the veteran always gets a ton of the footy, and this kick looks pretty good straight through. Port Adelaide get another one. They now kick away. They go to 12 goals, 10-82, lead the Crows 6-4-40, and we've played 12 and a half minutes of the third term here at the Alberton Oval.
Crows started well in that first quarter and kept the contest tight, but the scoreboard's beginning to increasingly resemble what I think many people would have expected coming into this clash. Their sides at different ends of the development cycle, and if they're playing both their best sides at the moment, one expects to be top 4, the other one expects to try and play as many kids as possible this year, and it's starting to look increasingly like that with the margin out to 42 points. And Crows will take most heart from the first game and seeing a guy like Riley Thilthorpe. It's been the tale of 2 stories for Crows fans today. You've got your highest overall pick, looking every part the future star, and then another guy you're expecting to play a big part of the year, rupturing his patella tendon in Wayne Miller, and a devastating bit of news today. Back in this game, though, it's Frampton that'll get a turn in the ruck against Laddams. Both rose the knee, and the umpire didn't like what he saw, and he says it'll be free kick to Laddams on that occasion. So O'Brien getting a rare spell today. Frampton with just a short little kick, finds Farrell. He likes to turn and launch. He does there. He goes up towards Dixon, wrestling with Murray this time. Oh, really sharp handball came to Dersma, who runs into the open goal and kicks his third of the day. Xavier Dersma. The ball hit the deck, popped up, and he was in the right place at the right time. It's 13-10-88, 48 points the margin now. Crows 6-4-40.
I get a lot of my intel or information from Mark Rasciuto, Will, who I get to work with. He always says to me that Charlie Dixon is Port Adelaide's most important player, and I know that some fans get frustrated. He seems to spill marks, but we saw on that occasion, that's what I think Roo talks about, that he just takes so much looking after, doesn't he? So much minding that things are going to happen around him, and I think that's why Roo says, look, if he's up and firing, he is so important to Port Adelaide. So it's not the marks and the goals that he's taking and kicking himself. It's everything else that he can provide.
Simplifies the game. We got a target like that. You know they're going to get a contest.
Back in the middle, Laddams and Frampton coming out. Zach Butters, he just stopped and had a look around. Thought, where will I go? In the end, handballs out to Bonner. Bonner, very, very short. Farrell. Little left foot kick finds Ollie Wines. Wines turns, wants to deliver inside 50, looks in the direction of Charlie. Won't get a run at this one though, stumbled. He goes out after it though, still manages to get near it and pushes it out for Dersma, Bonner on that natural left, goes to the goal square. Crows have got numbers back there. Murphy fumbled, handball to the opposition. Bergman runs himself into trouble. Handballs out, Georgiadis, now Rosie on the right boot. And Port Adelaide get another one. They seem to have plenty of options at the moment. A very dangerous forward line, and it is firing right now.
That looked a little easy. There wasn't necessarily clean. There was a couple of fumbles. Georgiades seemed to have all day to find Rosie, who could just wheel around on that right foot. It's only a trial game, but the Crows will want a response here, because if they're going to give up goals like that in this second half, Wayne Miller is going to be the headline, but the second story is going to be that this got uncompetitive fast.
Port Adelaide 14-10-94, Adelaide 6-4-40. We've played almost 16 minutes of this third quarter at Alberton, thanks to Balfours.
All right, let's have a look at what we've got in the midfield now. It's Laddams, Rosie, Boak and Houston for Port Adelaide. Paul Seedsman in the middle with Frampton, Keys and Sloane for the Crows. A couple of changes for the Crows, getting a different look in this third quarter. They need to win it out of the centre, give their forwards a chance. They've had to come a long way to get a kick in this second half. We are 16 minutes into the second half here at Alberton Oval. Frampton, what will he do this time? He jumps second. Laddams will win it, gets first use, and they'll clear the centre through Houston. Butters leads out towards the wing. Did he take the mark? No. He was plucked away from him by Luke Brown, who gets it to Scholl on his right. Kicks it up towards a contested situation. Cleary and Fogarty. Gets help from Jones, did Cleary. Fogarty goes in a second time. Now Murphy on the deck. Everyone stopped for just a moment. He goes a second time, Murphy, wrapped up by Bergman. The umpire says he jumped on it. That was hot, and gets Bergman will get the free kick for Port Adelaide.
Bergman halfback in front of the bowling green. Looks towards the middle, runs hard, now comes across halfback. Loose players on this side of the ground. Cleary, little casual with his bounce, nearly got run down. Short passes on to Willem Drew. Drew over the top, Hartlett. Sharing the ball around a fair bit here, Port Adelaide. Over to Houston. Houston goes long in the direction of the ruckman Laddams. Laddams, no mark, but does well at ground level. Picks it up too easy again. Thread the needle, in and out a couple of Crows players, and misses with the kick. Port Adelaide 14-11-95, lead Adelaide 6-4-40, all thanks to Balfours.
Feigned the handball and had plenty of time in the end, Laddams. Lots of time. See how the Crows move the ball this time. It's going to be McPherson to bring it in. Hugely impressive last year, McPherson. Just kicks it up towards the wing. The target was Lynch, did well enough to paddle it towards Scholl, who's coming into the game a little bit at the moment. Scholl, that time on the left. Fogarty wrestling with Cleary. Really did well, Fogarty. Releases Jones with the handball. He's got clear space ahead of him, Jones. He could go all the way here. He could run to 20 metres out. It's what he does. And on his right foot, Chase Jones has kicked a goal. No, he's missed. Oh, I heard cheers, and they turned out to be ironic cheers, Dits.
Yep.
They came, I think, from the Port players. Oh, Chase, he should have done better there. Great work by Fogarty before it, but the finish was a real letdown.
So they always say running at full speed like that, sprinting, very hard to get the ball to boot, believe it or not. Now, I don't know that, but I've been told that. So the loose footy here, centre wing. Port Adelaide a chance to soccer it forward, paddle it forward, go out after it. The player was Rosie, allows Ollie Wines through. Under pressure, Port Adelaide, the skipper, Boakey, has to take the ball out of play. In fact, former skipper, I should say. Former skipper in Travis Boak. And He, in fact, really enjoyed last year. If you saw the way he played all year without that captaincy, certainly released a bit of pressure, a bit of workload off his shoulders. Played really well.
Runner up in the Brownlow.
Yeah. That was a throw.
Yeah.
Umpire let it go.
Rosie Butters. Now Drew with a moment to assess what's ahead. He kicks up in the Dixon direction. He's got Murray wrestling with him. Big fly came from Kelly. He just fumbled what in the end was uncontested. Motlop and Wines. And suddenly there's another one-on-one. It's going to be Mackesy and Georgiades. They wrestle. Georgiades kept his feet, grabbed the football, turned and kicked a goal. Georgiades just used his body to shield the drop zone. He got a really kind bounce and he's kicked a goal, kicking Port away. 15-11, 101. It's 10 goals the margin now. 6-5, 41 the Crows.
In the post-game, it'll be interesting to hear how Matty Nix sums this up. Is the defence of the Crows loose and doing a poor job? Or is Port Adelaide's forward line very, very strong? Now, I think we know Port Adelaide are strong. They've got so many options there in that forward line, but have some of these goals in this quarter been a little too easy, as you've pointed out?
I think they've been a bit soft.
Yeah.
And look, it's a bit of both. The reality is there's a talented forward line and a young back line. Fisher Mackesy that time. Mind you, it's not like Mitch Georgiades has played 200 games of football.
No.
But the way the football's coming in at the moment is all too easy.
Yep. So then, will Matty Nix say, well, actually, it was up the field?
Yeah, I think you have to.
Because the ball is coming in with ease, isn't it?
Yep. They're getting, every time they go inside 50 at the moment, Port are picking out one-on-ones.
Yep.
And that can only happen when there's just not enough pressure up the ground. All right, any response here? O'Brien and Lysett. It's going to be a clearance that comes to the Crows. Laird wanted to go back initially, but then going on his left and kicking up towards the forward 50. And McHenry takes a really good mark. Now, can he move it quickly? Dodges an attempted smother, kicks it up towards Lynch. There's a free kick here to McAdam. Looked like there may have been a little push, and I think that's exactly what the umpires called. So McAdam, been a little bit quiet, flew early, but since that we haven't seen a great deal of him. Hasn't spent a lot of time down there, to be fair to him. Here he is, lining up for the Crows' 7th goal. Shouldn't have an issue, but he has an issue. He has a big issue. It's just the one behind. They should be 2 goals better than they are at the moment, Adelaide. They're 6-6-42, 15-11, 101 Port Adelaide. But the last 2 shots have been absolute sodas.
Chase Jones ran into an open goal, did all the hard work and missed. And then, that one just that we saw then. The ball towards the middle. Charlie Dixon working hard, up the ground, out to Amon. One of Port Adelaide's better players, to Bonner, who's been busy as well. Bonner looks for Georgiades. Oh, he's dropped the mark. His positioning was perfect. Hit him on the chest and he wasn't able to take the mark. So out of play, right half forward for Port Adelaide in front of their big training headquarters at Alberton Oval.
Some questions for the Crows too. I mean, Daniel Talia might not be playing till round 3 this year. So the key posts are going to be manned by the likes of Fisher Mackesy, Butts. Nick Murray's not even on the list. So what you see here is what you're going to get in the early days. And remembering round 1 for the Crows, team called Geelong. Got a couple of reasonable key forwards in Tom Hawkins and Jeremy Cameron now.
Yeah, they'll have their hands full there for sure. Well, that's where, up the ground. Don't let the ball come in as easily. Have to be very defensive through the midfield. Port Adelaide across half forward. Drew could have given away a free, but umpire says play on. Ollie Wine short to Dixon. Gets there on the bounce. The big fella has to turn and pirouette. And that's good work from Murray. Well done against the massive man in Charlie Dixon.
He wrapped him up well there to win the football. Stemmed the bleeding momentarily, the Crows. Murray's kick's not great. Came off the shin, I think. It's been taken by Bonner. That one's smothered. McHenry keeps it in. I think he only half wanted to keep it in. Then we'll get a throw in the end. Maybe a little bit of that conversation that he's famous for. Ned McHenry there with Riley Bonner. And we get thrown in just right in front of our commentary position here at the Alberton Oval. Throw in favours O'Brien. Lysett probably got first hands to it to Drew. Delayed the handball really cleverly to Amon. Hamill did well just to apply some pressure. Gets the football. Had to touch on it. Umpire says not enough to constitute true possession, so he was held without it. Now Hamill just accelerates away. That's what he does when he's at his best, Will Hamill. That's why he got Crows fans excited. He runs on, he's going to get it again here, and he's got an overlap in Seedsman. Now the lead from McAdam comes to the pocket. If it's a good kick, it is. It means McAdam could have a shot on goal. Might be right in the extent of his range, though. The mark will be on 50. He wheels around. He wants us to kick it to a dangerous position. He wants someone to fly for it, and it's Walker, and he takes a terrific mark. When given the opportunity today, Tex has stood up, and he should kick a goal here, Walker, albeit I'm hesitant to say it, Ditz, on the basis of some of the goal kicking we've seen in this quarter to this end.
Well, Tex missed one earlier, but he was 50-odd metres out.
This surely, the Crows' 7th. 24 minutes into the third quarter. The margin, 59 points. Good mark from Walker on his right. Tries to kick the cover off it, but most importantly, he kicks a goal. It is the Crows' 7th. They go to 7-6, 48. Port Adelaide 15-11, 101. He can hold his head high today, I think. Walker, he's done about as much as you can expect in a losing side as a key forward. Yeah,
agree with that. He and Frampton, who's fallen out of the game now, but Frampton early. Certainly first half was very, very good. Has spent a bit of time in the ruck too. So is that a sign of what you'll see from the Crows come round one? Frampton, Tex Walker, the two talls in this forward line. If you missed it earlier, the young fella, Phil Thorpe, kicked 4.
Yeah, geez, he looked good
in the game, the early game. So that was very, very promising for Adelaide. And again, if you're only just joining us, breaking news, Wayne Millerer has a serious knee injury out of today's game. So the Crows have already put something online. So Crows members, you can check that out, check the story out online. But we are led to believe it's a serious knee injury. And Todd Marshall, the one injury for Port Adelaide, nothing serious, copped a head knock and has just gone off for precautionary measures. Lysette wins the tap in the middle. A couple of players collide. Keys lost it in the tackle. Great tackle it was. Port Adelaide through Butters. Real excitement machine, this little fella. Handballs to Rockcliffe over the top. Boak running hard as he always does. Runs into trouble. Did well. Got rid of it. Back to Rockcliffe. His kick with the left foot's a spot on. And he finds Farrell inside 50. Good use of the footy under a ton of pressure from Port Adelaide.
2 old balls there. It was Sloan and Boak that collided.
Yep.
Good tackle. But Boak did exceptionally well with a handball too, setting up this goal scoring opportunity for Farrell.
So another of these nice left footers that you love to watch. Very stylish. Nice kick of the ball. Kane Farrell on his way. 58 metres. Gets under it a bit. It's gone high and it's just off to the left. Minor score. Port Adelaide 15-12, 102. Lead Adelaide 7-6, 48. We've played 26 minutes of the third term here at the Alberton Oval.
So 3.5 minutes remaining. No time on. So that's when the siren will go. Interesting to see what the Crows do to move the football here. McPherson kicks at his full distance. Comes out the back to Hartlett. Just able to shed the tackle a little bit too easily. Butters with the football to aim on. That one slipped when he perhaps should have gathered the football was Boak. Laddams was tall up against Rory Laird, who had the height advantage, bizarrely, the ball on the ground. They kick it out towards the wing, 2-on-1. Frampton wrestling. He did well to make a contest there, Frampton. That was terrific, actually. Keys in front of Aaliyah. Keys clean. Somehow Scholl keeps it in. His kick needs a bounce if Walker's going to affect anything in this contest, but Cleary was in front and centre position and got the football off to Byrne-Jones. O'Brien underneath it. Contested mark to O'Brien. Can hold his head up as well. One of the Crows that's competed well today.
Good strong mark centre wing in front of the Williams family stand at the Alberton Oval. Lysette on the mark. Called to play on. Got the kick away towards half forward. Nearly a Crows mark, but it comes to ground. Keys, who's been a good player for Adelaide today, but he finds Bonner this time. Bonner at halfback for Port Adelaide to Motlop. Very good first half for Stephen Motlop. Can go over the top with a short pass. Finds Butters. You can hear a fair bit of wind in the effects microphone there. A little bit windy, bit breezy at Alberton. Boak short to Dersma. 2.5 minutes remain in this third term. Or ran Burton into trouble there. The handball wasn't really on, and they retreat back to Darcy Byrne-Jones.
He's kicked 3, Dersma. Doesn't feel like he's had a heap of the footy though. But when he's needed to, he's popped up deep in attack. Walker fumbled it momentarily, but got the handball to McHenry and Laird, who's been busy. Gets it to James Rowe. I reckon every single touch he's had today has been outside of the forward 50. Fogarty used his body well.
Certainly did.
He kept his feet and he uses it magnificently to Keys, who unselfishly handballs it onto McHenry. They muck around a little bit but get the right result. McHenry kicks a goal and the Crows go to 8-6-54, trailing Port Adelaide 15-12, 102. Thanks to Balfours on the Port Adelaide and Crows official website stream.
So important for Adelaide to bounce back in the final term coming up. As I said, they're only going to get 2 hit-outs before round 1. So very important that they keep their concentration here and have an absolute crack in this final term. Because Port Adelaide really have dominated them since half-time. A lot of goals going forward for Port Adelaide have been very, very easy. in that forward 50 arc. A little bit of lack of defence from Adelaide at times. So back in the middle, it's Lysett and O'Brien to go at it. Port Adelaide very strong in there with Boak, Rotcliffe and Butters. On ball for Adelaide, you've got Sloan, Keys and Laird. So, yeah, pretty strong as well. Some real talent in there. Plenty of AFL experience in there as well. O'Brien over the top, has tried hard right from the start. Here's another chance for Adelaide going through Schomburg. Handball out towards McHenry. Couldn't get a run at it in the end. Alir should get there first and does. Beautiful pick up from the tall lad. Handball's over the top. Hartlett will get run down and taken over the boundary line. And we'll have a throw in, a left half forward for the Adelaide Crows.
Still some question marks over Adelaide's selection for round one, I think. And the response here in this game will go a ways to answering some of those questions. But you look, it wasn't just Thilthorpe. The guy like Sam Berry looked fantastic in the earlier game as well. And if the midfield looks like it's lacking a little bit of grunt and toughness, he has to come into consideration for next week and beyond. Keys, no questioning his toughness. On his left, kicks it up towards a dangerous position. Sitting underneath it is Walker. Gee, Sticky Mitts didn't quite gather it. Ground level, Burne-Jones and Rowe contest, and Rowe just held onto him slightly long, and there goes the siren. 15-12, 102 Port Adelaide. The Crows 8-6, 54 wasteful in that term, but the margin has blown out a little bit. We're going to take a short break and be back with the fourth quarter from Alberton Oval shortly.